start with the living gate. What I think is really helpful with these kind of master classes is that sometimes you just don't have the stock art just doesn't really have what you're looking for. And of course, any world builder knows that you have some very specific ideas about the most important points of interest on your map. And so the stock art might not reflect what you're looking for. So this kind of series is going to help those of you who need help kind of putting together your own custom points of interest. Because again, the stock art doesn't always cover it. So we'll make a living gate. Think of it as like a sentient gate that has a mind of its own. It could be ethereal. It flies around. And so that way it's not in one place. You can see it has wings. So it's living, it's alive, it's moving around, and we don't have to make it exactly like this. We can try some different ideas. So I'll go ahead and remove that. The first thing we should do is probably choose something like the gate itself. And whenever you're making a point of interest, you scale it up. Now I know the art and everything looks huge and weird, but it's just easier to maneuver, to edit this kind of composition when everything is at a larger scale. And then once you've grouped it, you can scale it back down to its regular size. For instance, these points of interest look really weird this big, but of course on your map, they're probably going to be something closer to like this size. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and get that. So we'll start with this first. This will be kind of the base of it all. We want to have a gate of some kind. To give it a sense of being alive, we might want to give it like maybe putting a statue of some kind. I know we added that in the original image here, but we don't have to put it right on top. You could put it like right here, like this behind it if you want, or maybe it's standing on top in the front of it, like that. Maybe I want it to match a lot of the similar color as the gate. I can maybe desaturate it a little bit so we get a little bit more gray. So it's like maybe they're standing over the gate like this. So what part of it is the living part? Like we could also maybe give it some wings. Let's see here. I think in the fantasy world, there should be in some heraldry, there should be some wings that we could use. I must have passed it up. Let's just type in heraldry. Right here, like these kind of wings right here would work just fine. And what's cool is you don't even have to connect the wings to the body of the statue. Like you could say that the wings are magical. So we'll just kind of desaturate them a little bit, maybe bring the brightness down just a little bit to make them look like they're in the background. And we can even add maybe like a second pair, like an archangel or something like that. Like right here, we can add a second pair that's like attached like that. In fact, we can bring the brightness up a little bit. What about there? Looks good. Bring the brightness down just a little bit. Like that. Maybe even give them like a special on the helmet. Something kind of like this. You could have another set just right there like that. And maybe it flies around, so you could rotate it like this if you want to make it look like it moves around. Though I'm not sure how it would because the gate part is at the bottom. So we maybe want to add something at the bottom of it. Think about that. Maybe something that points like kind of downward. So it looks like it's hovering. So we could use a bunch of ideas here. Let's go ahead and go through the whole catalog. Like I see some tentacles at the bottom here. Like that could be useful. Like some kind of eldritch setup. What we would do is we would like hide that below like this and then try to catch as much of the tentacles as possible. Like you could desaturate it a little bit. Oopsie, not that one. My mistake. This one itself. Actually, I kind of like the bluish and the purplish color. I think that looks kind of good. Let me just scale it a little bit. This way it kind of moves like tentacles, but to look like it's moving in a more organic way instead of a stationary object, I'll rotate it just a little bit like this. It's kind of moving around. I think the blue works well with the purple and the blue and the octopus. The only thing is that I would say that I don't like is that you'll notice that there are these like lines at the bottom of that. And I'm not sure exactly 100% how to resolve that issue. We could do a couple things to make that better. Let's see here. That could be interesting. Maybe we want to hide some of those lines. So maybe putting like this gate up in the front. Maybe we can change the blend mode as well. Let's see, where can I get it to where it's rotating right about on the gate like that? Let's do that. Let's bring the saturation up. Get that more bluish color, and then maybe we could change the blend mode. Oh, you know, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe right about there. There we go. Now it kind of has like the swirl thing. Now, one thing I do want to mention is with blend modes, they interact with the textures and the things that are beneath them. So if I change the color like this, you'll notice that the blend mode interacts differently. So just know that when you are adding blend modes, make sure that you probably create, I wouldn't make the icons off screen or on a different map. I would make your POIs on the map itself, and that way the blend mode will interact with the actual map, because you see how this blend mode might not work quite as well. So, but here it does work here, but you have to play with the blend modes. We do have we do have a stream on blend modes. It's a little bit older, but it does go into it in depth in what each blend mode does. So if you're interested, you can totally do that. The other things that I would kind of recommend here is we already have like this swirly gate here. Maybe we should add in something like a light source where the eyes are at. I always like to add light sources of some kind. Those can always be super nice. Let's go put this up all the way on layer +5. And let's go ahead and put some light coming right out of the eyes there like this, and then maybe some light coming out of this part right here. There we go. I think that looks good, and maybe even add a little bit of light to the spear. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and just do this, and then maybe have a little bit of light on the spear. And if you don't like the blue color, you can always change it, right? So if you want to change the color here, you can make it purple, make it green. I mean, the green somewhat works because there's already some green there if you want to, or if you want to make it a different color, blue. Maybe you like the purples better. I mean, whichever one you think is best. I think I like them both. This works fine for me, so we'll go ahead and create the group and call it the Living Gate. All right, that looks cool. Living Gate, cool. So this is like something that would like crawl around on the ground. And so this would kind of make it more challenging. Like most gates, they're just stationary, but this one moves around. So your players would have to like track it down, try to go after it. Maybe they have to subdue the statue in an encounter, and then they're finally allowed to go through the portal and take them to whatever location. So those work. We're only at 42 changes. I'll go ahead and make the next one. Make sure that if you have ideas, throw them in the chat. I only see one, a Terror Circus. And there's another one called Organic from Science Fiction. Oh, no, that might have been a stamp. Not sure.